the first thing I did was I folded this fabric based on this measurement. I hip divided by 4 times 2. That was 21, right? 21. So I'm using the full length of the material, which is 60 inches. We need to mark where the rope casing would stay. So we're going to come up here and we're going to mark 1 inch for the top casing, which will be at the chest area. My chalk is white, but basically 1 inch here. From that 1 inch, I'm going to place my tape at 6 because we want the next rope to be on her under bust, to be where I will start my bias markings from. So 14 inches, then I'm going to cut it out. After cutting it out, I'm going to notch here and here. I have notched the 14 mark and the 1 inch mark. Proceeded to fold it in a triangular flea to cut the back. I measured the full length of my front bodice, which gave me 62. This is 60 plus extra 2 inches, 62. The back part will be starting from 15 inches. I'll do 62 minus 15. 62 minus 15 give you 47. Since this part is shorter, right, and here is longer, this is what I'll do is I'm going to mark 47 from the bottom up to the top, right? Thereabouts is where I marked it. I marked 47.25 because I'll be using a bias to turn it. It's white chalk, so you can't really see it, but the mark is somewhere there. Maybe I should pin it down so you can see it. You can see where the pin is. From the top to where the pin is 12.5. So the next thing I did was I marked from the top to this area here. I marked 14 inches, so I came down a bit so to have that slant. This slant that occurs at the back. We still ensure to mark from here to 12.5 again, so that from that point I can mark 47 down. So by the time I form my arc, it will be a full circle. Then once I'm ready to cut, I'll cut from this pin, from this 14 down to 12.5, and then cut out the flea out. Yeah, this is what it looks like after I've cut it out. If you notice, I only cut it along the 12.5 mark. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slant it to this pin point. So this is what it looks like after I've slanted it down. So I've cut strips that I'll use for the rope in the middle at the bottom. This was where I notched. Right? Then I'll mark from here to here 8, 27, and notch this up. This is the front bodice, right? So this is the side of it. So first thing we'll be doing is we're going to be folding this edge in towards the back. Be folding it all the way to 1/2 inches after this point. So be folding everything in. So you do the same for both sides. After you've closed off the edges, next thing you're going to do is you're going to fold the top to create the channel for the loop at the top part, bring it from one end to the next. Then you're going to use bias. I drew a line so I'll be able to pin the bias. I'll place the bias this way, close it this way so that the edges is not raw, and place it directly on that 14 line. Pin from one end to the next and sew it down. I would close off my slit by folding it in. I folded in the slit, folded the top, and attached the bias through which I would pass the rope. And then ironed it. For the back, we're going to be using bias to turn this curve. You're going to pin the bias along the top part like this. I'm using this line that has already been folded as a guide round. After you do that, then you flip it in and sew it in. Right, so I have attached the bias to the back of the dress. Her waist is 31, so the 31 divided by 2, and we have 15.5 minus 4. So I've gotten an elastic 11 inches long. Mark 11. Use a safety pin to pass it through this channel. We've added the elastic. You mark 1 inch from this notch downwards and start to pin. You're going to use 1/2 inch to close both sides. So after joining the front and the back together, I noticed that the front is longer than the back by a few inches, so I'll be trimming it out. After I cut it out, I proceeded to turn the bottom of the dress. So join all the loops together and then pass it through the chest channel and then the overbust channel, and then your dress is ready. Thank you for watching.